Hello, and welcome to another Progtor Who Locked Down. I'm your host, Bob, and I'm joined, you'll know him, you might even love him, or slightly like him, one of our regular hosts, Mr. Suky. Hello,
What?
Suky.
Hello.
You all right?
What a great introduction, man. Thank you.
I was trying to build it up. I
You,
love
you
you. I
don't
love
build
you,
that
Suky.
up at all. You
Yeah.
might like him. You may love him. There's nothing there about.
Oh,
Carry
I
on.
know. Do you support Liverpool, Suky?
No, it's Everton. Why? Have I got the wrong background?
You should get a Liverpool turban. Have you got a Liverpool turban?
No, but that's a good idea.
I was going to say, your eyes just went, yes.
Do know a chap who got married in a proper Punjabi wedding, everything, right? And on the back of his wedding suit, was the liver bird, right? The Liverpool liver bird with LFC at the bottom, right? And I thought,
Neris Hughes, then.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Anyway, thank you for joining this lockdown. And I'm also joined by Dr. Oho.
Hello there. How you doing?
I'm all right, Dr. Oho. How are you?
I'm right grand. Right grand.
Hey.
I got some cheese here. I'm happy. I got some cheese, so I'm all right.
Sound like you're from my part of the world, Dr. Oho.
Well, I don't know where you're bloody from. You sound like a southerner to me.
Yeah, it sounds like it's from there's the little towns just in West Yorkshire that are up on the hills. Very fit people up there. Very fit
I'm
people.
from Gallifrey.
Gallifrey?
Aye.
Me and Morley.
We're not far from Morley.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
To be honest.
Gilderson, excellent. Well, thank you for joining us, Dr. Oho.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Glad to do me bit.
So lockdown, it's kind of coming to an end, isn't it? But we'll still do these because they're fun. You're both all right? How have you been enjoying lockdown, Suky? Well, I've spoken to you fucking loads, and you're fine.
In that case, don't ask me then. You don't need to know.
No, but our listeners need to know because that.
I'll do that. Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they're more important than you are, Bob. So
Okay,
to the listeners, yes. No, I've enjoyed the lockdown's been a bit of a. It's not actually been any different for me because I've still been able to go into work because I'm a postie, so I've not actually had any lockdown issues as such. But 2 or 3 members of my own family are still having to go into work, so again, it's not been an issue, and yeah, so it's just plodding on as normal basically.
Loads of podcasts. Suky, where can we hear you?
Where do you want me to start? There's loads.
20 minutes.
You're going to be alphabetical order. Alphabetical order.
Alphabetical order. Right, we got Progtor Who, obviously, which is the feed that you're listening to, where we review a Doctor Who story with my lovely co-host Bob. Wave hello, say hello, Bob. Thank you.
Hello.
And then we got Craig and John. And then John is also on a podcast with me, which is called Take Your Seats Podcast, where we review sci-fi films, and we have a guest host on every week, and we do review some sci-fi films. Oh dear me! And then after that, we've also got Trek This Out, which is again with John and with Bob and with Lindsay and Andrea on that, where we review a Star Trek episode, which one of us then picks, and we have a good little discussion on it.
Yeah, check it out. Dr. Oho, how have you found lockdown? Have you had to park up your TARDIS? Have you been let free?
Well, no, I just go where I want.
Just do what I want.
That's one of the advantages of having a TARDIS. You just go where you want.
You've been anywhere nice?
I'll wander around. Yeah, we went to London a short while ago because I fancied having some cheese, and Barbara she had to go on a blind date, and it all got a bit strange. There were routons, bloody routons.
Routons?
Yeah, little baby routons. They ended up in the soup. I don't know what was going on really, but anyway, we had a lovely time. It was smashing. That's really the only place I've been around here. Apart from that, I've been swanning around the galaxy.
Excellent. Well, you sound like you've not really noticed the lockdown, Dr. Oho. But I'm going to take you into one. I'm going to take you back a few months now, and it's the day before lockdown. I know it's the day before lockdown. You have to go into lockdown, Dr. Oho, because this is you've been like John Pertwee's Doctor, sentenced to Earth. Who?
Oh,
sorry, it was after your time.
Sounds like some kind of scarecrow to me.
So I've got some questions for you. I need to know what you take with you into this lockdown.
There's some sort of interrogation.
It is, yeah.
Oh,
You will talk. Kind of
lights in the eye.
Yeah, lights in the eyes. So you're going to need a companion to take with you on this lockdown. So from the world of Doctor Who, it can be any audio book, whatever, TV, film, whatever. What companion would you take with you from the Doctor Who universe, Dr. Oho?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm taking Susan, because I like Susan. Oh, she's lovely, Susan. I used to bounce her up and down on me knee, and I still try and do that. Well, no, this is what she tells everybody. She also tells them that she's 16, but she's bloody not. She's 135, which means that she's properly old enough. And so wherever possible,
she's proper street legal, isn't she?
Yeah, proper street legal. Yeah, I'm not doing any of that nonsense. I tell you that for now. No, so yeah, I'd take Susan obviously, and if she wouldn't bloody come, I'd take that Perry. I've looked into the future. You see, I've looked into the future, and I've seen what's coming, and I'm quite looking forward to that era of my life.
Did you look through your booboscope or something like that?
I look. Well, I know. I've never called it that, but it's quite a useful thing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm quite looking to meeting her when she first arrives. I think that's quite pleasant.
Excellent. So you're looking to your 135-year-old granddaughter to bounce on your knee into lockdown as your companion?
Well, she's not my granddaughter. That's just what she tells people.
To make it acceptable.
To make it acceptable, yeah, but it's not. It's not acceptable at all. I'm not having any of it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Oho. Suky, for the world of Doctor Who would you take as your companion into lockdown?
Am I going to be the sensible one on there?
See what the fuck you want.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm going to take Barbara. Oh, sorry, I mean Barbara. Right. And,
oh, yeah. Get her out of my bloody hands.
No, well,
keeps
I'll
getting in the
definitely
way.
take her off your hands because she's a great companion. Right. Jacqueline Hill, when she portrayed that character, Barbara, she was fantastic. She knew what she was doing. She was forthright. You can have a great conversation with her, I assume, and she knows her history, so I ain't going to get lost anywhere.
Can you take bloody chuntering as well? Because I'd like to quite get a shot of him.
If they're going to come as a package, yeah, I'll take Ian Chesterton as well.
I don't know if they'd come as a package, to be honest.
They'll have to come as a package. That's the only way.
She never has with me. I tell you that for nothing.
Oh my god!
You haven't asked her nicely, then, have you?
Yeah. I've asked her every bloody way you can imagine.
Yeah, but the way you're speaking here, young man, I can see that you've been asking her all sorts of ways. If you ask her kindly, you might get what you want.
Yeah, maybe if you get your granddaughter off your fucking knee, Dr. Oho, you might stand a chance. Right, cool. That's nice, isn't it? So you're going for Barbara and Chesterton, and Dr. Oho's going for Susan.
Yeah, I did consider that bloody Kamika, but she'd have to have a bag on her head.
Who's Kamika?
Oh, she was that bloody woman that we met when we were at that bloody music festival. And yeah, she took a shine to me, which I was quite pleased about to start with, but she was a bit rank, so she'd have to have a bag on her head, and she wouldn't play ball. So no, I'm not having that.
Awesome. Yes. So where have you come from? 1974, Dr. Oho?
No, 1963.
All right. Okay. Well,
have you not swatted up?
We'll excuse you then. Right, you're non-Who.
I can get away with anything because I'm from there, you know.
Right, Dr. Oho, which companion would you take with you for the world of non-Doctor Who?
Well, I've had a think about this, and I've looked through various things, and I'm quite partial to that Hobbly Wibbly. What does this morning, or whatever it's called, that program. Yeah, she's quite pleasant. I wouldn't mind a bit of her, to be honest. Hobbly Wibbly.
So basically, you're just trying to accumulate an orgy, by the sound of it, Dr. Oho.
Well, I always work on the principle that throw enough shit at the wall and some of it'll stick. So
fair enough. So yeah, that's your harem added to. Suky, who would you take with you from the non-Who world?
Non-Who world, because I've always been a big Buffy fan. I really love Buffy in the past.
Oh yes.
Right. Well, she had a little group of the Scooby Gang, and in there was Willow. And Willow was a great character played by Alison Hannigan, and I'd be able to I'd take her with because she's got all the spells to be able to help me out with anything. So Willow, fantastic character, great show, Buffy. I'll take her.
Lovely. Well,
I might actually be tempted by that Cordelia, that Cordelia from Buffy. She was quite nice and all.
Yeah, I met her in real life, Christmas Carpenter. I met her at a Buffy convention back in 2000 something, and there's a picture of me. I've got a group photo. Now this is at the time she was being written out of Angel, right? So she was when she was in the green room, because me and my mate we were looking after the green room, and she was in the green room, so she was getting phone calls from America, and I think she just realised she's been written out of there, and so she was a bit on the slightly worse for wear because I think she didn't want to be written out. I don't think. I'm not sure what was happening, but the photo I've got, and quite a few people have commented on it. It's she's sitting there, but her blouse, instead of being like properly done, it's quite down to her navel, right? And there's a
oh my god, this is not Progtor Who.
It's yeah. I'm not saying
it's got to put Dr. Oho.
If I can find that photo, which I've got somewhere, right, I'll be able to put it on the photo.
You have laminated as well.
It's wiped clean. But
if you can tell us the date of this convention, I'll set the TARDIS controls for it, and I'll go and have a gander.
When I find the picture, I'll let you know when the date is.
It's like a splash-proof picture of this person. I've never really seen that, to be honest.
He's had it laminated.
Right, well, you got your companions now. Well done, and we've discovered more about Suky's kinky side as well. It's consistently fascinating.
You guys have
right, Dr. Oho. You've got to take a villain with you, an adversary, if you like, to keep you entertained. To sort of cross swords with, if you like. So, from the world of Doctor Who, which villain or adversary would you take with you?
Well, let me think now. Certainly none of the people that I've met so far, because they've all been rubbish. I could have taken Jeff. Jeff would be quite good because he likes playing games.
Who's Jeff?
He calls himself the Master, but his real name's Jeff.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, but he plays games all the time, and it gets a bit annoying. So, as I said, I've looked into the future and seen what's coming for me because I think it helps to be prepared. Because apart from anything else, you can remember to duck when you need to and things like that. And I quite fancy that Swiss Air of Dildos, whatever she was called, Swiss Air of Dildos. Yes, I'll have her. She was quite pleasant.
Swiss Air of Dildos.
Stones of Blood.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
You were in Stones of Blood. It's well down your timeline.
No, it's in the future. I've seen me. I look bloody stupid then. I'm played by bloody Frank Spencer in them days. I don't like it.
It's the future. I've seen it. Cool. So you're taking some Swiss dildo or whatever. Awesome. Suky.
Yes.
Villain, Doctor Who are you taking with you?
I'm going to take the Anthony Ainley Master because he was so over the top. He was so brilliant. I loved him during his time during the Fifth Doctor era, and the best story obviously for him was Survival, but all the other stories beforehand, he was just so over the top. He was so arch. He'd give all these little speeches of how he'd defeat the Doctor, and then the Doctor get the better of him because he just didn't know what he was doing basically, and the way Anthony Ainley played it, he just played it so over the top, and you just think that's the sort of villain you wouldn't want to go up against because you're always going to beat him in the end. So Anthony Ainley's Master.
Well, be prepared to play lots of games of hide and seek. He likes doing that.
Yeah.
Well, Jenga. He likes Jenga as well.
I quite like the fact that he likes dressing up.
Yeah, and Twister. Awesome. That's great. So you got your Who villains. So from non-Who, which adversary would you take with your Dr. Oho? I imagine it's going to be a female.
Well, it is actually.
Yeah.
Because what's the point? What's the point of having some other bloke getting in the way? So I set my time space visualizer and I looked around and saw a few things. And I quite like that Star Trek that the Suky man here were talking about. I quite like that, and I like that Major Kira, who from Deep Space Nine, from the alternative universe, the mirror universe. I quite like her. She wears some quite nice outfits, and looks like she might be quite accommodating if I treat her nicely. So
yes.
So when Susan's got a headache or Perry's in the shower or whatever, then then I've got a fallback option.
This is the thing, Dr. Howe. If you treat them nicely, they will come. If you treat them badly, they'll just go away.
So you don't agree with it? Treat them mean, keep them keen, or whatever. Then so it's not something you live with.
I don't think it's ever worked for me. So
it's because you're such a lovely man. Come on then. Who's your adversary you're going to take with you?
I'd like to take Servalan. Oh, what a character. And Jacqueline Pearce, she's great as well. Again, another one.
Who?
I think he's talking about Blake 7.
Oh,
Blake
fucking Blake 7.
Blake 7.
What?
Never understood Blake 7. Blake wasn't in it for half of it, and there were never 7 of them. Don't make any bloody sense, man. You'd never find that on our programme. I tell you, my bloody show wouldn't have that.
Shite. No, yeah, I know, exactly. Serverland then, off 7s or whatever. Yeah.
Off 7. Blake 7. Right. 7. But yeah, no, she was another arch villain, somebody that likes to hear the sound of her own voice, and she dresses in those wonderful dresses up most of the time, even though she's in a quarry somewhere. And she again, it's a villain that's easily beatable because she makes mistakes. So again, a villain that you're just going to love beating, basically. Is that the one with the ball cut? Yeah.
Aye.
Oh, I think I've seen it. I've seen it before. Yes, that's it. She was
in Two Doctors.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Sultanas. I know. I watched that one as well. I'll tell you what. I get it bloody easy when it's later on in my future. It's a bit hard going at the moment.
Is it just she plays it Justini or whatever?
Justini of the
the ground Greek or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. So we got your companions, we got your adversaries, but you're going to need gadgets. And Suky, I'm going to come to you first. What gadget from the world of Doctor Who, gadget or device from the world of Doctor Who, would you take with you into lockdown?
See, somebody in one of your previous podcasts, I think it was Mark Cochran or Ian Martin, one of them said chameleon. And I think that is not a companion, that is a device. And I'd go with that as a device. Right. I wouldn't go with a sonic screwdriver or anything else. But chameleon, you just have to give them the personality, a body they can inhabit, and you just use them for whatever they want to be used for. Turn them into... Careful,
my
Doctor.
Kind of talk, this. My kind of talk.
Careful,
Suky.
There we go. Careful. Suky's kinky side again. Come on, tell us, Suky. What did you turn him into, Suky?
Bloody...
I'm not saying anything because I could feel it. Anybody I say, right, this is going to get looped into a song.
It won't. I promise I won't do that to you again.
Promise.
Yeah, promise. Yeah.
You can loop them into what was that, Bob? Licking your finger.
What? No, I didn't cross fingers because it's promised and I'm lying. Who are you going to say? Say it, and I'm not going to loop it. I promise I won't loop it. Not cross fingers.
Not cross fingers.
Not cross fingers.
No, you could. I'm just saying you could turn chameleon into any character that you want, any person that you want. So I could turn him into Bob if I wanted to. Right?
You would never do that.
I'll just use and abuse that poor creature. Right, Bob, go and fetch me my dinner. Bob, go and get me a drink. Chameleon, Bob, go and do this and the other. Right, I'll be able to do it like that.
Horrible, aren't you? Really?
Not really. Right. No, you've just turned me into a horrible person.
Amazing. I'm so happy with my work on this podcast. Dr. Oho, who would you take with what device or gadget?
What device? I tell you what I wouldn't take. I wouldn't take the bloody fast return switch. I had a lot of trouble with that. I used to do it to do my tax returns, to do them quickly. But then the elastic band snapped and oh dear, all kinds of trouble with that. So I wouldn't take that. I did think about the food machine so I could get lots of lovely cheese, because I do like a bit of cheese. But in the end, I decided that I would take from the story that I think you call the Ark in Space, I would take the Toshiba OP64000 Pleasure Pod.
Is that?
Yeah. Is that one of them, the pods where all the people are in the...
No. It was that thing that bloody Sarah jumps on and gets transmogrified and ends
up with
it. But
was that a pleasure pod, Dr. Oho?
Well, it was when we did it.
It fucking was.
Yeah, so, I heard the speech. I heard the speech that whoever it was gave out for that one, and I thought, oh, that would be quite good for when I'm tired and just fancy a bit of a lay down.
You're going to fucking eat the sound of it, aren't you?
I might do. Well, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. If I'm going to get locked up or whatever it is, then I might as well go out with a bang.
Yeah. You're going to be a little banging and a lot of lube by the sound of it. Suky, non-Who device or gadget would you take with you?
Now, this is a device that I used to use every single day, all the while, until a few months ago when my wife took it away from me, basically.
No problem.
Right. It's a coffee machine.
What?
All right.
Oh, it's an anal probe.
Where did your mind suddenly go to?
I did.
He said anal probe.
coffee machine.
Oh, right, cool.
It's an enema machine then, basically.
This Tassimo coffee machine that I used to love with the pods used to just make lovely lattes and macchiatos, whatever, and I used to love it. And then my wife goes, "Your blood pressure's going up." Right, and I tried to explain it's not because of the coffee, it's because of the podcast I do with Bob. Right, and she wouldn't have it. She says, "No, it's a coffee." So I've had to lose that. But if I'm in a lockdown away from everybody, that's what I'll be taking with me. That Tassimo coffee machine.
Oh, pods and that. Yeah, it'd be good, that, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you take your Indian tea? I had a cup of Indian tea, stew tea. It was amazing, Miles. When I went around Suky's, it was amazing, Dr. Oho, sorry. It was class. Lovely.
I didn't hear that.
No, you didn't know.
The reason I won't take that is because I don't make it. The wife makes it.
You could take the wife to make it, couldn't you?
I was going to say, you could take your wife.
I can't. I've got Barbara. I've got Serverland. I've got the master. Actually, I could turn comedian into the wife.
Yeah, to make it Indian stew tea. Yeah,
it'll make me some
beautiful.
Tea.
It is beautiful.
Right.
Dr. Oho, you will definitely get a slap. Dr. Oho, what non-Doctor Who device would you take with you?
Well, I've given this a bit of thought, and I quite like the idea, and I'm surprised none of your guests have actually mentioned this before, because I've listened to your episodes, and I thought, oh, someone's going to say this, and they haven't. And I'd take the holodeck from Star Trek Next Generation. Take a holodeck.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, you can do anything you want then, can't you? You can go anywhere, you can be in any situation you like. And that'd be grand, that would.
Yeah. You're not allowed to take your own hard drive though, Dr. Oho, that's all I'm saying. So upload to this hologram.
My drive is always hard.
The way your mind works, Dr. How, I wouldn't take the Star Trek.
It's Oho, by the way. It's not Oho. No, you're thinking of Father Christmas. You're thinking of Father Bloody Christmas here.
Right. What I'd do, I wouldn't take the Star Trek holodeck. I'd take the Orville holodeck because you can do extra things on the Orville holodeck that you can't do on the Star Trek.
Yeah, but that only bloody works if you've got Keith Harris with you.
Yeah. Welcome to Progtor Who Lockdown. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Oho. Okay, one more before we have a song. Decor. So you're going to need some decoration in this lockdown place you're going to be in. First one is, which TARDIS interior would you take with you, Suky?
When I properly started watching Doctor Who, it was during the Fifth Doctor's era, and I'm going to say the Fifth Doctor's console room. It just reminds me of so many happy times as a kid watching that show on the telly, and that's the one I grew up with. So, and it sort of carried on into it did actually up to the Fifth Doctor's era. So I'm going to say the latter Tom Baker, early Peter Davison console era.
Which one?
The console room in the Fifth Doctor's, the early Fifth Doctor's, up until the Five Doctors.
Oh right, the old the old style one before it went amazingly modern. It blew my mind as a child. Yes, I remember that. All right, cool. Why though?
Because that's the one that brings back happy memories of watching the show at the time. Right. I mean, other one a bit later on, it got a bit too. It's still happy memories, but it weren't as when I was growing up as a kid then.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Dr. Oho, what TARDIS interior would you take with you?
Well, I'd take my own, basically, because if I didn't like that, I'd change it. And if I used one of the others, I wouldn't know where anything was. I wouldn't know where my cheese was. I wouldn't know where the bloody food machine went. It'd be all over the shop. So I'd take my own. I might paint it a funny shade of green or something, but I don't know. I'd take mine.
You've always got to know where your cheese is, Dr. Oho.
You have, yes. Although mine does have a tendency to change shape, and that's not a euphemism.
Does your cheese tend to grow feet or move along after a bit? I mean, especially after it goes green.
Does your cheese go fetal?
Grow feet.
I thought you said does your cheese go fetal after it's left for a while?
If you've got loads of cheese lying around everywhere, surely some of them must have.
Yes, surely some of your cheese will grow feet, Dr. Oho.
Just
ordinary
processed
cheese with all
this
the crap
This one particularly is a nice bit of Gouda. This.
There you go, Gouda. Not a foot inside, Suky.
Not a foot inside.
Right, Suky, non-Who interior decor.
Right, I'm a Liverpool fan.
Are you?
No, well, I keep telling you, Bob. That's a mistake. That background there is a mistake.
All right, yeah.
But anyway, Liverpool fan. I'd like to have the Liverpool trophy room, right? And I'll have that as my decorations all around my room. Be able to put a couch in there and just look at all these European cups, the Champions League cups, the First Division, and now the Premier League. The Premier League Champions Cup.
Champions, yeah.
That's what I'd like. The Liverpool.
That's a fine choice, sir.
What year are you in at the moment? Can I ask? Sorry, because I get a bit confused because I'm from 1963.
We're in 2020.
2020. Right. So that's the year before Bristol City win it. Right. Okay, I've got it.
That's the one. Yeah, because they somehow dramatically get promoted to the Premier League through some sort of weirdness.
Actually,
and then they win it.
It can't be far off because the way there's quite a few clubs admitting that they might be going out of business because of this lockdown. So you could find a reduced league, and all of a sudden Bristol City might be in the Premier.
York City is smashing it up. Imagine that. That'd be awesome.
I'm not giving any spoilers. So
yes, please.
Having said that they're going to win it next year, or it might be the year after. I can't remember. But anyway, it's one of them. I don't really follow it myself.
I wouldn't run straight out to the bookies, dear listeners. Dr. Oho, what non-Who interior would you take with you?
Well, I'm giving the same answer as my last one because I've got holodeck. So basically, I can change it around as I want. So I don't really need to take anything else. So I'll stick to my holodeck.
Right, no, that's fine. Double holodeck it is. You can
double
have double holodeck, Dr. Oho. Right, Dr. Oho, we're going to have a little break, and I'd like you to tell us what song you would like us to play, because we are a music podcast.
Oh, yes, I know that. I've heard some of the songs you play. Some of them are quite good. Although it has to be said, one of the guys on your normal show has some very strange choices. The one with the high voice. He has some. No, the other one.
John?
Yeah. no, the other one. He has some quite strange.
Mark.
No, the other one. No, he has some quite strange choices. So no, I'm going to take my entry for the Glastonbury festival that we went to a few years ago, when we all had to do a song, and mine was the best. So I thought I'd get you to play that and see what you think.
Excellent. And what is it? What's it called?
It's called Dr. Oho and his band.
Excellent. Let's stick this on. Cool. Right, pouring some wine. Woo. We all right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Tis a laugh.
I'll have you a little rest, Miles, from your persona.
That's all right. I can keep this up all day.
You all right, Suky? You all right, Suky?
He's crying.
The heat. No, I'm just feeling the heat.
Oh, he's crying.
Oh dear.
Was that curry super hot?
Yes, man, it was actually. Extra chilies. Got it to my eyes.
You lucky man. Right. Okay.
What did I pick now? Sherry and Moore, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, so yours is going to be last, okay. We've got it all here. Just say when you're ready, lads. Oh, a little vape as well.
Fire away.
Okay, Dr. Oho, what was that again?
That was Dr. Oho and his band.
Excellent. Thank you very much for sharing that song with us. Did it get through to Glastonbury? Did you get to play it?
Yeah, I reckon we won it. You could tell by the crowd reaction at the end.
Excellent. I'm pleased. I'm very pleased. Okay, well, this is Progtor Who. Progtor Who Lockdown. We're halfway through now. So we've got a good few items and people in your lockdown, but we're going to now continue because you're going to need something to wear. Okay. So, Dr. Oho, what costume from the world of Doctor Who would you take with you to wear?
Well, obviously, I take my own because, that's what I wear normally. So I'd wear that. But if I had to wear something different, again, looking through the future of my own adventures, I think I'd possibly take the Archimandrite's costume from the Androids of Tara. I think I'd take that because he had an amazing hat, and I like that.
Oh,
like
yes. That's a fine choice. Oh, it's a lovely hat. I
did consider Jeff's costume from when he bloody nicked Adric and made up that place. Because he had quite a nice hat there as well, a hat on top of a hat. It was basically I'm hat related on this question.
Yes,
any question with any costume with a nice hat. Oh, I'm in like Flint.
Yes, I get that. I mean, I'm a big fan of hats being bald as well. No, well, not as well because you're not.
I'm not.
That's the one thing.
No, not yet.
Yeah,
I might be at one point. I haven't
actually
looked far enough forward to see if I get bald at one point, but I might. I don't know.
I was going to say we used to speak to a lot of bald people, but I'm not because we don't know if Suky has hair or not. John has a good full of head of hair, and so does Craig. Only Mark is slightly balding, and he still has a bit. He's still clinging on. Suky, what costume, Doctor Who costume, would you take with you into lockdown to wear?
See, if I was into lockdown, I was thinking about something to just. I
thought you were in lockdown.
You are in lockdown.
Okay, when I'm in lockdown, I like just like a costume where I feel comfortable, and the only costume that I've seen which I wear regularly, right, is the hoodie, and so I'd like Peter Capaldi's hoodie costume that he used to have when he was the 12th Doctor.
The one that got slagged off beyond all belief.
I don't care what people thought.
I loved it. I loved it.
Hoodies are class, right? And I'd take that costume because you've got your pockets for putting your stuff in at the front. The hood just to cover your face if you don't want to talk to anybody.
When you're doing dodgy deals, big pockets for you.
Locked up in your own house doing dodgy deals.
Don't say anything, Bob. Don't say it. We're recording this, so I don't want to be incriminated.
He's a dodgy. Suck is dodgy. Cool. He's not really, by the way. This is just a joke. It's just a joke.
That's my theme tune. That is now.
Don't tempt me. I've got time on my hands, Suky. Right, cool. Costume, Dr. Who from the non-Who world.
Oh, well, I don't know really because I've looked at lots of different things and seen lots of different costumes and they're all a bit shit really. So I don't know. What I thought I might do is actually I'd have a pair of them. Them quick change artists when they change from one costume into another very quickly. I'd have a pair of their trousers because
the strippers.
Just straight off like that.
Whip them off.
So that any time if Susan suddenly turns and gets in the mood, then there's no point wasting any time in this moment. So just crack on with it basically.
I could see you in a pair of pop stud Kappa. Pop stud Kappa tracksuit bottoms.
Definitely, yeah. No, definitely.
Straight off.
You could see me in that. You could Photoshop me into those. That would look grand. That would proper grand.
Might be about that place in 1963.
No, properly right in place.
Suky, what would you wear? What's your non-Doctor Who costume?
Well, I was thinking about a Liverpool top and Liverpool memorabilia clothes and stuff. I thought, nah. There's a Punjabi, it's an Indian suit called the Karta Pajama, and it's just a big.
It's called. Just say that again. Probably.
Karta Pajama. Pajamas,
basically.
Goddamn pajamas.
Goddamn pajamas.
Yeah, just call it.
No, say it again because I want to be able to say it.
It's a Karta Pajama.
I'm not going to even try. But
okay,
cool.
Sounds like a type of cheese.
Jesus.
But it's just a long, two-piece suit, elasticated waist for the trousers, and it's just long flowing top, right? And it's just comfortable to wear around the house, and you can have them in different materials, and it's just a great little thing. Different colours,
silky,
bright, dark, silky, bright, dark, whatever. And I've got about at least half a dozen in my wardrobe right now. Right,
you live the dream. You live the dream. Walking around in silky pajamas, eating fucking amazing curry that's made for you, drinking
and having stewed tea brought to me, food brought to me, a little office up here.
Can I come round for a sleepover? Wear some silky pajamas.
Whenever you want, Bob. You come round. I'll I'll make sure there's a tent in the garden for
Can we
you.
do a Mark and Wise though and sleep together as well in our silky pajamas, eating curry, watching telly? Oh my god, that is literally my dream come true. That'd be fucking amazing. We'll talk about it off air, Suky. This is happening.
Don't have to talk about it off air. I'll make the bed for you right now. Right, I'll just say, Miss.
Imagine all fucking beard fluff everywhere and bloody food in beards, and that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
what we're gonna watch? What we're gonna watch? What should we watch?
What would you like to watch? I know what I'd like to get you to watch. I'll make sure you watch a Marvel film.
Oh, fucking hell.
I'll make sure you sit there and watch a Marvel film.
As long as it's pre that fucking absolute shit one that took me off Marvel, Apocalypse or whatever it was. I'm fine with that.
What pre-apocalypse?
Is it called Apocalypse? I can't remember.
Avengers Infinity.
No, Age of Ultron. Is it Age of Ultron? I can't remember. It's the one that just pissed me off and I hated Marvel after that.
Okay, we'll watch that then.
Amazing. You know what? I won't give a fuck. I'll be wearing silk pajamas, fucking eating awesome curry. I don't give a shit what we watch, Suky.
As long as you don't make a mess in the bed afterwards, I have to clean it up. Right.
Well, I won't drop my curry, put it that way, Suky, but I can't promise anything, especially with your laminated collection.
Well, the thing is, with a hot curry afterwards, I don't want to be cleaning up after if any other mess occurs.
Don't worry, I'll bring my own toilet duck because I fucking need it. Right, I'll do as well. The spicy food is my thing, but Jesus Christ, my stomach does not like it. Okay, Dr. Oho. I forgot where we are now. I got distracted by silk pajamas and curry. We're on to the next question, aren't we? You've done your non-Who.
I think we're on to.
Right.
We're
okay.
What we're watching, because you're Suky what he's watching, haven't you? So.
Okay, so you need to take a story with you to keep you entertained. Doctor Who story can be from the audio universe, the book universe, just whatever. Just as long as it's Doctor Who. What Doctor Who story would you take with you, Dr. Oho?
Well, I think I'd take my first story because, I thought about it actually. I thought I could take that one because I quite like that one. That was when my show started. When I started to get a bit famous. So that were grand. Could take that one. But I reckon I'll probably take the Arse Cheeks because that was quite good. That when we went to Glastonbury and did all the music stuff. So I quite like that one.
Which one's the Arse Cheeks?
The Arse Cheeks, yes, that's what it was. That was called. That was what we called our band. No, it wasn't what we called our band actually. No, it's what they called their band, the Arse Cheeks. Load of rubbish they were, but we were great and we won. So we take that one.
Well done. That's cool then. That is cool. Yeah. So that story with the Arse Cheeks. Suky, what story? What story would you take for you?
With the Doctor Who story I'd like to take is the Five Doctors. It's because this is a story that brought all the Doctors together. I mean, I know it brought the three Doctors, but I wasn't old enough to remember that. But when the Five Doctors came around in '83, it was just a big thing. And as a kid, I was thinking, they've got Patrick Troughton and John Burt.
Kid. Just kid. You weren't a kid in 1983, were you?
Well, I was.
How old were you? 43, 42? Well, you're 50 now, aren't you? So you weren't a kid in 1983, were you? I was a kid. I was 3 years old. I'm 40, so you were 13. Oh, yeah, you were a bit of a kid. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. Hoisted by his own petard.
Hoisted by maths.
Just don't let the beard fool you into thinking I'm older than I am.
I thought you were a grand wizard of at least 103.
Right. But yeah, that story, it was on Children in Need night and everything. And I sat there and I watched it and I was so happy seeing all my favourite characters that I've only read about in books, right, previously. And they're all back in this show. And I just loved it. That's the story I'd like to take. The Five Doctors.
Cool. No problem. That's a grand choice. And one of my favourites too, Suky.
I thought you'd have taken that Dudley is hissing story that I was in when I was Frank Spencer. Because you were in that, weren't you? I remember you being in that.
I do remember having to have some strange lines as Spunky Pizza, I think.
Spunky Pizza.
Spunky Pizza.
Spunky Pies.
Yeah.
Oh, you're...
Okay.
I thought you were quite good in that.
Thank you very much.
I'll have your autograph later, if I may.
Yes, I'll whiz it over to you straight away.
I don't want you whizzing. Don't whiz on it. No.
It's laminated. It'll be laminated. Don't worry.
Yeah, everything's laminated. Everything's laminated.
Everything in his house is laminated for safety's sake.
Fully splash proof. Dr. Oho, what non-Who story would you take with you?
Oh, well, I don't know, because I've got the bloody time-space visualizer in the TARDIS, so I can watch anything really I want to. But I thought, well, what would I take if I were going to be in this situation? If I'm going to be locked up and tied up and whatever, and not being able to do anything, what would I do? And I thought, I know what I could do. I watch Dallas. I quite like Dallas. Dallas is grand. The entire series of Dallas.
Dallas is grand. I love
Dallas
that.
is grand, just because you got bloody J.R. Southall in it, and he gets shot, and that's never been a bad thing. And I quite like that Victoria's Principles. Yes. I think she's quite lovely actually. I was almost tempted to put her in as my guest, but then she went weird at the end, so I didn't want to go through that shite.
I see where we're going. But
then you could always change it afterwards by just jumping in the shower. Everything would have gone back to normal.
I'll be jumping in the shower quite regularly because I'd like to keep myself clean and prim and proper.
You like to keep yourself attended, don't you?
Right? Yes. Oh yeah, got to keep yourself attended to.
Suky, non-Who story, please.
My non-Who story is going to be Star Wars, because this Star Wars has always been in my life ever since I was a kid, and I've just grown to love it out even more over the years.
Hundreds of years.
And it's got wizards in it as well. So
yes, so yeah, Star Wars. It's just fantastic. Got the robots, stormtroopers, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and Solo. It's just brilliant. I would love that.
Well, it kind of go. Hang on a minute. Hang on, Dr. Oho. I don't like to tell you this, but I can see a Mondasian Cyberman just behind you.
Oh no, bloody hell! Not one of them bloody Cybermen.
He's going for you. He says you're looking old and your body's wearing a bit thin, and you started to glow. Dr. Ho-Ho is glowing.
Don't say I'm glowing.
I can hear it. I can hear it. The regeneration.
Don't tell me I'm bloody turning into Patrick Throfton.
I think you're turning into something else. I think you regenerate, Dr. Ho. Before you go, I'd like to thank you very much for appearing on the podcast and assembling your harem. But unfortunately, you have to go. Your body's wearing thin.
Oh, well, I'm feeling a bit knackered.
Yeah, Suky, it's the end, but the moment's being prepared for.
Oh.
Because on my phone, I've got an app called Helicopter in an Emergency Presenter. So I'm just going to go through my details here. So it's fine. We'll get this finished.
Yeah.
Bollocks, Dr. Ho. He was all right, but we'll find someone better.
I'm glowing.
Oh, I'm going to miss him.
Who we got?
I'm going to miss me.
Not a lot.
Remember Miles Northcott from that? What's that podcast you did with that Miles Northcott? I can't remember what he's.
Oh, is that
Doctor Who's line? Is it
Doctor Who's line? Is it anyway?
Shut your dead, Doctor Ho. Right, okay. I'm going to press the helicopter.
Right, well, if he's coming, I'm definitely pissing off.
I'm going to press that. I'm pressing the helicopter app now, and here comes Miles Northcott. Hello, Miles. Thank you for stepping in at such short notice from the Progtor Who presenters app. Helicopter them in quick if they need to be.
Bloody hell happened there?
Yeah, helicopters in. Imagine that. No, it's no expense spared this podcast, my friend.
No expense. No, the special effects on this program are second to none.
I think it was a horse and cart effect that went in. But I'm saying,
do you want me to change my shirt?
It sounds posh. Hiya, Miles. You all right?
Hello, Bob. I am very well, thank you. How are you, sir?
Because we had Dr. Oho on before, and unfortunately regenerated. So we needed to just get some for the last question.
Full of himself, he is. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, possibly very sexist as well, but we can't be sure. But definitely. Right, cool. But he's a man of his time. Well, thank you for joining us, Miles. Miles, what's your podcast called again?
It's Doctor Who's Line Is It Anyway?
Anyway, cool.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, one to check out. And I've heard you've been doing a charity event. You might as well advertise it now you're here.
I might as well advertise it now while I'm here. Yes, indeed. We basically when lockdown happened and we started getting all these tweet-alongs and things happening, and I thought, well, all of these famous Doctor Who names are giving up all their time for nothing, and you know, we every single story that we do, we have a celebrity cameo involved in it. And most of the time, that's just simply I've contacted various different celebrities and said, look, can you just send me some random lines? And they do that. And then we just insert them at a relevant point in the story that we're doing. With one exception, when we did our version of Girl in the Fireplace, we actually had Sophie Aldred come on and she Skyped with us. And we did that live, only a very short scene. But that was great. And I thought, could we possibly do something like that in lockdown, as these people are prepared to give up their time? But if we're going to do it, we'd better do it properly, and we better do it for a good reason. So I thought, what's the best cause we could support to get people to possibly donate something at the moment? And the obvious one, as it's something that's affected every single person in the country, is the NHS. The NHS, have long struggled for money, and we've seen in recent times just how valuable and how essential they are. And so I think anything that we can do to support the NHS, to help them to thrive, to help them to get equipment, and to help the people who work in the NHS, to help their families and what have you, anything that we can do to keep that going, then that's got to be a good thing. So I contacted as many people as I could, and we got Sophie Aldred, who agreed to come on and do the entire episode with us. And we have a few other people, and I thought, right, okay, what can we do? Well, let's do Fugitive of the Jadoon. Massive story from the last series. And Sophie comes in and she plays Ruth.
Oh, amazing.
The Doctor. So she carries virtually the entire episode. We've got we had Lisa Greenwood in, but she wasn't actually allowed to have her voice used. So we managed to get Nabil Shaban to come in to read.
Fucking love Nabil. He's amazing.
Oh, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. He plays Gat, Please
tell me he's the most nicest person in the entire universe.
He's superb. Anyway. He is superb. Yeah. I mean, I can't say anything against Sophie when it comes to that, because she has has gone above and beyond with all of this. Yeah, but Nabil is brilliant. He was happy to do it, and so he basically read the lines that Lisa Greenwood, who is Flip in Big Finish, it's Colin Baker's companion. He read the lines that she said, so that enabled us to keep the story as it was. We've got Vinay Patel, who wrote the episode. He's in it. He plays Reggie the Swan. You might not remember from the story. He's only in it very briefly, but he's in it. We've got cameo appearances from Colin Baker, Toby Haydock, Peter Purvis, John Chalice, Joe Lidster, Edward Russell, Annette Badland, Tara Ward, Trevor Cooper.
Quick to say who you haven't got. That's amazing, man.
It literally is. There's 18 celebrities in it, basically. So it's a bumper episode. We've got 4 songs at the end, one of which Sophie sings for us, which is absolutely amazing. Toby Haydock's done the introduction for us and the end. Brilliant. Because we thought, rather than say, right, well, this is what we're doing, and give people a page to go to, we just said, let's do it the same way as they do on Doctor Who's Round, on Who's Round, and Toby just comes on and says, right, so this is the site. If you like it and you want to donate something, great, go off and do that. If you don't, if you can't afford it, then fine, the choice is yours. So we've left it up to people. We have had donations already. I can't say exactly how much because I honestly don't know. But we'd had a donation up before the episode even went out. We've definitely had donations since. So we have made some money.
Great, well done. That's awesome. Where can you find it? Or do it advertise where we can all go to this? And
yeah, it's our current episode. So if you look on our website, which is Doctor Whose Line Is It Anyway? If you just search for Doctor Whose Line Is It Anyway, our site will come up. It's the latest episode on there. We're on Anchor FM, which is where our podcasts are hosted. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, a few other the minor podcast hosts as well. But basically, if you just search for Doctor Whose Line Is It Anyway, the episode is out. It's called, because we give out all our titles slightly different titles that sound very similar to the original. So this one is Future Chief of the Young Dudes, where Sophie basically plays the potential future chief of the Young Dudes, and that's what it is. And hopefully this will raise a lot of money for a very good cause.
And how do you donate? Is there a place where you can donate, Miles?
Yeah. Basically, you go to www.nhscharitiestegether.co.uk/donate if you want to go directly to the donation page, and that will take it in. And then all the NHS charities are linked together in that site.
Brilliant.
So you pay to the one thing, and then the money gets spread to all the various different charities where it's needed. It's not the same as the tax money that we pay that goes towards the NHS. It's a separate thing from that. So this goes towards essential services that the tax money doesn't cover. So
I bet that was a lot of work, and well done, and really genuinely
a lot of work. Yeah.
Well, well done, and well done. I've not listened to it yet, but I will listen to it. But please, if you can donate, do donate. If you can't donate, just share and share and share.
Yes. The more people see it, the more people that there's a chance of actually doing that. That would be great.
If you Toby Aldridge, Toby Lidsters, all these people have contributed their time. It takes 2 seconds to share something, so donate and share, or just share, because it'll be very much appreciated. The NHS, as we all fucking know, just amazing.
Yeah.
So honestly, Miles, hats off, well done. That's incredible. But anyway, we're not here for all that shite. We're here to do a lockdown. I am completely joking. I did this to say a bit, and now I'm doing the Daft Bob bit. Okay, so this is the final question anyway. And I'm pleased we've got you on, Miles, to answer this.
Probably better go to Suky first of all, because I've just talked for the last 5
minutes.
No.
And I
think I might be talking for the next 5 minutes.
No, do you know what, Miles? It's been brilliant. So I love this question. So it's your favourite memory relating to Doctor Who, and it doesn't have to be a moment on TV show. It's just something that, because you've been a Doctor Who fan all your life, Suky, as I have, and as Miles has, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
And don't get me wrong, apart from the wilderness years when you used to get the shit kicked out of you or taking the piss out of for being a geeky Doctor Who kid. And that's, so you had to start playing bass in the band to look cool when you went to big school. I've had so many special memories. I met Sylvester McCoy, Sophie Aldridge, all these amazing people. Met you, Suky. I can't believe I said that, but there you go. It's actually quite nice to know you. Did Progtor Who. There's so many things that I have very, very special memories of, and just because of being a fan of this show. What is your number one memory, Suky? Being a Doctor Who fan.
See, this is a tough choice because I've had some very, very good memories over the years. I mean, there's like the Doctor Who group that I was involved with for many years, which is the Walls of Fenric, and I met some great people in there, including Roger Clark. They used to run the group.
Suky, sorry to interrupt you. Was the Walls of Fenric, was that one of the Lunatic sector groups?
Yes, but it wasn't a Lunatic sector group. The Walls of Fenric was its own group, and Lunatics was the Walsall group. Right. Walls of Fenric was a Walls group.
Did you have fights in that, play British Bulldogs and that?
No, yeah, we did on the car park, Anchorman style. Yeah. We turn up with our sonic screwdrivers. Come on then, let's have it. Right. But now,
hitting me? Are you actually hitting me? Is this a massage? I don't know. I'm a geek. I don't know how to fight.
Ooh, just a bit on my lower back, please. Lower back. Yeah. Oh, that's better. That's
it. Right. Hang on. Let me find one of my laminates.
Dear.
His back's probably laminated.
But yeah. And then through the Walls of Fenric, I've also met some great people, which is like Mary Tam. Actually, Mary Tam I met through a TV show. I was on a TV quiz show, and she was a TV, what was it called? TV Stack. And she was like the guest host on that. And I was one of the contestants. I've got it on video somewhere, but I can't remember what it is now.
You need to get this up on YouTube, Suky.
Yeah, it was on YouTube. It might still be on YouTube somewhere. I'm pretty sure somebody's got it up on YouTube, right?
We need to see this.
And this is going back in nearly 20 years. This is, but I met Mary Tam through that. Louise Jansen through Doctor Who, Wars of Fenric.
It sounds like bloody Dr. Oho's fucking harem.
Right, Nicola Bryant I've met. There's quite a few, but the
dirty old man, dirty old man.
There's two Doctor Who memories that I want to I just want to mention. The first one was the Day of the Doctor screening. Now this is the 50th anniversary story, obviously, right? And it was going to be shown on the telly, but it was also going to be shown at the cinema. And because as we're growing up, we just think it's a geeky thing. We knew Doctor Who was big, we didn't think it was big, right? So I turned up at the cinema thinking there's going to be just half a dozen people in this auditorium, but we turned up and the auditorium was packed. It was totally packed, and there were people dressed up as Matt Smith, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant. There was all sorts of people in there, and it was such a great atmosphere. And you're sitting watching this on this big screen, and you're watching all the Doctors come on, and then you see Peter Capaldi's eyes, and then you see Tom Baker suddenly appear, and you can see the audience reacting to this. And that was one of my best memories regarding Doctor Who. Now, the other one is one that sort of changed my life for the last couple of years, is meeting you guys, which is the Progtor Who boys at WarpCon, which is, I think, over about a year and a bit ago.
2 years ago now, isn't
it? 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years, yeah.
2 years. And it's meeting you guys and then getting to know you guys. I mean, I'd appeared on podcasts previously in America and a couple of other places. And then I've been on Mark's Nerdology before you. And then I came on to do a guest house. And then when I met you guys at WarpCon, and we sort of hit it off there as well. And I remember you saying, Bob, that this is the person to replace me, because this is the time that you decided you're going to give it up and just move on again.
No, I had given it up. He had given it up, and we had loads of guests on, and they were really good. Miles was one. There was 3 people, but I don't know, because I didn't really. I knew for years that I didn't know who you were, but Cyberman, whatever, shared every episode or whatever, and then you came on, and I don't know if it was the sort of thing of. I don't know, he was so genuine just to do love podcasts. Who listens to podcasts? You
can tell this because every podcast that I'd listened to, virtually, it seemed, Suky would write into it.
Yes, absolutely.
And he's so genuine as well, because he will share every podcast that he listens to. He shares.
Yeah, I do.
And so he bumps up the viewing figures for all the podcasts he listens to. He replied to
a tweet. He replied to a tweet once and he said, I'm glad you like it. Thank you for sharing. He goes, yeah, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't share it. Dickhead, pretty much is what he said. When I listen to that, I just thought he's the man. He's just a bit different, because like you've done loads of podcasts, Miles. I've done loads of podcasts.
I've done not that many, actually, to be honest. Well, but you know what I mean.
But I mean, you're used to, talking podcasts, things like that. Character, because you do sometimes have a persona. People do, don't they?
Do I?
Dickhead. Fuck off, Miles. Right. But and I just heard this guy, and I was just like, "This is what the guys need." Like with John, I was so pleased when John came on. It's so good having this lad who is clever. I mean, he's super clever, super intelligent, who is not a massive Doctor Who fan, like us. And it's just great getting that point of view, especially when you make him watch like fucking Marco Polo or something. It's like, and he embraces it. He does it. And then when we went to Warp and we got absolutely smashed, I was off my tits and I'm like, crack. Fucking a bit of smack and that, and then they asked Suky to be on a podcast. Don't fucking remember. Apparently I did.
Well, this is why I was supplying you with them as well. I knew this would happen.
And his hoodie with fucking none of his stash out.
Try this one; it might make you feel better. Oh, a bit later. Try that one.
I had no plans to come back, but we had such a good fucking day and laugh and that. And I said to Suky, like, to lads, that you should just get Suky on. And I was like, actually, no, I want to come back as well, because I think it's loads of fun. We've had a great day, and that was it. And it was fucking ace. And since then, you can't get rid of him. Fucking hell, any podcast going.
Well, this is the other thing I'm going to say. Is through that initial meeting, getting to know you properly, having a laugh, chinwag, all right, and then coming onto the podcast, I've got to meet John as well. And John has become like a big part of my podcasting life, my life, because I just do so many podcasts with him, right? And he's just fantastic. And I just want to say that on this podcast as well, that if it weren't for you, Bob, I wouldn't have met John. And John is just the man. He's just brilliant.
And it was kind of weird, kind of horribly weird and nice at the same time. I'd pitched to Suky and John and Lindsay actually to do this Star Trek. Oh no, it was just you two.
It's just me and John, wasn't it?
To do this Discovery podcast. And whatever, and I you know, I'm not gonna lie, I suffer from mental health issues and stuff like that, and I just thought I can't take this on, and I got freaked out or whatever, and I said, really sorry lads, I can't do it. And then thankfully John and Suky got together, not knowing each other, and just went, look, do you fancy just doing this, us two, or whatever? And when they said that to me, because I was like pissed off, because John's one of my best mates of all time, I love Suky bits, I was like, oh, I felt horrible. And then when John went, you know, do you mind if we do? I was like, absolutely not. So I opted out on the first episodes. Then they've just fucking flown. I love listening to you two. It's like a really fucking weird homosexual, but not homosexual version of Richard and Judy or something. I don't know.
Well,
it is beautiful.
I haven't told you this yet, but he does share my bed occasionally over here. You know, we're sitting there, we're having curry.
Has he got his own silkies? Has he got his own silkies?
He has got his own silk kurta pajama. Right, it's all there. He's got about half a dozen, one of the Liverpool colours.
Oh, he's got his own silk goddamn pyjamas. Bastard. Do you feed him curry as well? Fucking hell.
Into each
other's
mouth. I feel
like second best. I feel like second
It's the best place to put it, Suky, to be honest with you.
Oh my God. At least your bed sheets are
You've tried putting it into your eyes. You've seen how badly that can turn.
Oh, that was a right bromance. That was lovely. Oh, I really enjoyed that, Suky. Thank you.
I've got to say, guys, that you know, I've listened to a lot of podcasts, and the most successful ones are the ones where there's this chemistry between the hosts. You know, it helps if they know what they're talking about. Sometimes it helps if they don't know what they're talking about. But if you've got that chemistry between it, and this is why Progtor Who has always worked so well, because the chemistry that you Bob, Craig and Mark had originally was fantastic. Suky's come on, he's fitted right in there, and Mark's and John's come on now, and it's just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's entertainment from start to finish, whether you like the show, whether you like the episodes that you're talking about or not. It's that chemistry between you guys. That's what makes it. You know, you ripping the shit out of Craig, or ripping the shit out of Suky, and what have you.
We do. We love. If anyone else did it, I'd be fucking fuming. If someone took a piss out of Suky, I was like, what? Or Craig, you know, like I'd just savage him. But it's basically lads down the pub and just having a laugh. It's our night out. It's our bit of fun, and it's great. And I've always loved it.
You let yourself loose, and you just go.
There's no
I mean, some of your rants in previous episodes when you've got yourself pissed up and just ranted off on things have been some of the funniest things that I've listened to. It's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's tremendous, you know.
Thing is, right, when he went on to these rants, he wasn't hosting the pod. Right, Mark was hosting the pod, so he could go on because the Mark would be able to take up. Now that he's got to host a pod, he's got to be a bit more restrained.
Yeah, right. I don't think that's going to stop him, you know.
he still occasionally goes off on one. The only thing, the thing is, like, hosting it is, I host it, but it's not. It's just us four talking shit, and I have to have some sort of like thing or whatever, and I have to fucking edit it, okay, as well, which takes a lot of time. But it's just nice. It's fun. And thank you very much, Miles. I'm glad you like it.
Honestly, it's my favourite podcast that's going out there. You know.
There you go.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that because I've been on it.
No, you've always been a great friend of the show, Miles. Thank you very much indeed.
No, you're more than welcome. And you know, anytime you want me on, as long as I'm free, I'm happy to to do whatever. I'm just grateful to be a part of such a great show. It's one of the reasons I got into podcast. It's actually the reason I got into podcasting in the first place, because I wanted to give something back to the Doctor Who community that's done so well for me over my entire life. And I thought, I want to give something back to this. I want to contribute something. So you know, that's why I started doing Doctor Whose Line Is It Anyway, and I wanted to do something a bit different rather than just just the standard talking about stuff.
Yeah.
But then I've always wanted to talk about things, which is why it's been great when I have actually got the opportunity to come onto podcasts and talk about the show, because I just love it and I could talk about it all day. So.
We're all doing it. Sorry.
I was just going to say, your podcast, Doctor Who. I mean, I've been a part of that now for about a year and a half, 2 years again, and I've had a great time going on there, just messing around, recording these episodes. But there's always, before the podcast and after we recorded, there's always this chinwag that everybody does, just talks and talk and talk, and that podcast, that bit there would be able to fill loads of other episodes. You could
easily.
You could go around doing a podcast just on the recording of the episode that you're doing, and then you could release other little episodes just on the chinwags that we do.
We've started doing this because I had a problem towards the tail end of last year when I got a new computer, and I decided the sensible thing to do would be to put all the stuff that we've recorded onto a hard drive, a separate hard drive, which I did. And then the hard drive went tits up, basically. And so everything is still on there, but I can't get it off. So suddenly we had nothing to put out. So I thought, well, what the hell can we do? So we started doing we do a thing called Meet the Cast, where we just have a talk about, a Doctor Who history and what have you. And then we just started doing In Conversation Withs, where we literally just got together and chatted about stuff. And then we started reviewing episodes because we had to do something. I didn't just want the podcast to just disappear because we didn't have any proper episodes to go out. We've now started doing what we call random improvs, where we are literally just coming up with an idea and making something up, not something that goes over the top of an existing episode, something that we just do off the cuff. And we've done a couple of those, and we'll probably do some more. And either of you two guys, if you're ever wanting to get involved.
Never done improv. I don't know what that.
Yeah, you've never done improv, says Bob. If you've not heard Bob's other podcast that he never talks about these days, Bon Improv, it's still on Apple Podcasts.
Is it still up?
It's still on there as far as I'm aware. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. I don't know who's paying for that.
There weren't that many of them, but yeah, they were great. And it was basically just people would send in ideas and do a sketch about this, and then he'd just make up a sketch on the spot about it. And we'd do basically the same kind of thing. We're using some of our existing characters and just creating something new and hopefully funny. We've done a couple of them so far.
Improv is super hard, and I think one of the things is one of the things I've learned from doing it is you can never block, so you can never say no, or you've got to go where the other person's going. Yeah, it's got to be positive. It's got to be a positive flow, and you don't know where it's going to go, and a lot of it wouldn't be funny. And the point of improv is you don't edit it. You can't edit it. It's the point of improv, and I think I find it a fascinating thing, improv.
The only editing that I do like that for hours is if we've got people who talk across each other. When you're trying to put something out and you've got a character on screen that's talking and another character that's not talking, and two people are talking at the same time, you either let whoever's started talking finish, or you let whoever's starting to talk, or you separate the audio streams so that you can have both saying what they were saying. That's the only thing. But I don't cut anything. I don't cut anything out apart from the odd or noise in the background. It's all what you get is what you get, basically. Because like you say, you have to.
It's a fascinating thing. I think just to touch on a couple of improv podcasts. So God, this is going on a bit, isn't it? I've got the question to ask as well. There was what's the Star Trek one that's very good. And there's a couple of ones, spacey ones. Mission to. I'm gonna have to go with podcast now. Apologies. Library. So you've got mission to. Yeah, mission to ZYXX. I don't know how they pronounce that. It's Zix. Yeah. So basically they come up with an idea and it's very improv, but they have an idea where they're going, which does help. If you have no idea where you're going, I find that a little bit more fascinating and very unstructural and things, and it's very tough. Shall we continue the lockdown thing? I'm trying to remember where I am.
Suky, sorry, I interrupted Suky. Suky was actually in the middle of his answer.
It's a great chat. It's a great chat. About, so you've done your Doctor Who memories.
Yes, I've done my Doctor Who memory, which is Volcon.
Have you done your Matt? You've done yours, Matt?
Yeah.
No, right. So
God, here we go.
Right after 35 minutes, Miles. What's your
Here we go. This is the next 35 minutes. I thought long and hard about this question, knowing that it was coming up, and there are so many things that I could choose. From the show itself, I could choose the ending of episode 4 of The Invasion of Time, when the Sontarans suddenly appear. When that came so out of the blue, it was. A lot of people talk about Earthshock episode 1 as their their sudden shock moment. For me, that was Invasion of Time episode 4. Just completely
I'm
out
going
of the
to
blue.
go. I'm going to go with that because I watched it when I was younger, and I really loved it because it was Gallifrey and all that. And I didn't literally shit myself, but I had to like, like it was like, yeah, mental.
I can visualize our lounge at the time when this was on. We had a TV in the corner. There was a brown chair sort of here where I was sitting. The Sontarans appeared at the end. I leapt out of the chair and ended up on my knees in front of the TV going, Sontarans! Sontarans!
And they were shit Sontarans, and they went around leaping around on fucking sunbeds and that later on.
And they fell over.
And it was shit. It wasn't great. But at the time, I absolutely.
Oh God, yeah. And it's still one of my favourite stories. You know, and a lot
because
of it's to do with that. Not completely to do with that, but a lot of it is to do with that. So there's that.
You've got the shimmering things, haven't you? And then there's suddenly shimmering.
The Vardens,
yeah. The
Vardens, they were basically just tinfoil, and were even worse when they appeared. There was the lead Varden was absolutely useless. He was the most wooden actor you've ever seen. But the story was a great concept for a story, and it had that shock thing at the end of episode 4. I just loved it.
I'll never forget that. That was my moment. Yeah.
So I could have chosen that. I could have chosen. I could have chosen City of Death, which is my all-time favourite story. That I missed episode 4, part of episode 4, because I was in Blackpool on holiday, and we were going out. And one of the things we were actually going to do was go to the Doctor Who exhibition that was in Blackpool at the time. And so I missed the end of this story, which I was gutted at because I was loving it, and it's my favourite story. And obviously, I got a friend to audio tape it and listen to it over and over and over again, and can recite the episode backwards even today. I could have chosen that. I could have chosen when I met John Pertwee when he was filming Wurzel Gummidge in Brixham, where I live. Where he unfortunately couldn't. I'd broken my arm at the time, and my arm was in plaster, and he couldn't sign it because he had the twigs in his fingers, so he couldn't hold a pen. But that was the first time I'd met anybody famous at all, and it was John Pertwee, and I was like, wow. And this was, he hadn't long left the part. I could have chosen when I started a Doctor Who group, which was one of the Lunatic sector groups that we talked about, Suky. We were the Devon Seaside Devils.
Yes.
And we had such good fun doing that, and it was doing that actually gave me the idea for Doctor Who's Lines anyway, because we did a thing where we got a video. We had 2 videos, and we linked them together, and we played one video into the other, but then we had a microphone going into the second, and just set up and we improved over the top of that. And we did Goat Lice, and we did Goat's Lice was what we called it, Ghost Light, and we did Silver Nemesis, and that's what led to that. I could choose podcasting, because listening to podcasts for the last 8 years, as I've now been doing, has been something that happens virtually every day of my life, and I absolutely love it. Listening to several different podcasts, Progtor Who, as I say, being my favourite because I think it's brilliant, but just so many different voices and opinions and different styles of podcast. It's great, and the people that I've met through the show, I could choose that. I could choose when a friend of mine who was the film and TV reviewer for Radio Devon decided that he was going to start interviewing as many Doctor Who people as he could, but he didn't drive, so he said, could I come with him to do these interviews? And I said, yeah, sure. So we've been to Christopher Benjamin's house, we've been to Chris Achilleos' house, we spent 3 hours with Graham Harper at his rented place in Cardiff. He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We did the interview and then spent 2 hours afterwards talking. Went to Stuart Fell's house, and he is the man who I am gutted has never had his story put out there, because that man was so interesting. He
Stuart obviously
Fell's he was a stunt man.
Guy. Yeah. He's great at the extras on DVDs and stuff.
Oh, his recall was astonishing from stuff that happened years and years ago. We went to his house, and the first thing that he'd done, we went into like a conservatory, and he'd set out a big folder, a big photo album, which was all the things that he'd done, and he took us through it page by page. And this is me in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and this is me in James Bond, and this is me in this, and this is me in that. He made his money by creating the Diablo, which is, if you take a ball and you cut it in half and then you turn it the other way around, so it's two hemispheres back to back, which is a thing that you then play with, the toy. He came up with that idea, and it basically made he created that, and that made him his fortune. He was Jester of the Year many times, and did charitable work for Princess Diana. And there was a street thing going on one time, and she was there, and he was on stilts, and he was going to get a chance to meet her, but he went to go to speak to her.
He went over to Paris to drive for her. Sorry,
he went.
That was a really bad joke.
Come back, Dr. Oho, all is forgiven. He got stopped by the police, and the police took him away, and he was like, but I've arranged all this, and I've got to go. No, sorry, you're not allowed to do that. And he was telling us these stories, and it was just amazing.
Recorded anywhere, Miles?
Sorry, John's recorded the interviews themselves, but most of the interesting stuff for what happened outside of them.
Right, okay, the usual sort of...
I mean, we went to Ingrid Pitt's house. Ingrid Pitt was this voluptuous beauty, Hungarian beauty or something from who was in all the Hammer horror films back in the early 70s. She was in The Time Monster, which is the reason why we went to see her.
Oh, right. Okay.
And turned up, and she was a lot older. She was an old lady now, and we went in. The first thing that happened, we went through the door, and you could smell all this incense. You could smell the incest. You could smell this incense burning. And so we sat down waiting for her to finish doing whatever she was doing, so that John could do the interview. And she looked at me and she went, "Oh, you are so beautiful. I want to lay on you." What? Wow. And I'm thinking, bloody hell, if this had happened back in 1973, when I was 7, but if this had happened back in the day when she was like she was, dear God, I'd have been in like.
So have we actually got to your favourite memory yet, Miles?
No, we haven't. We haven't yet. Because despite all of these things that were so brilliant, I have to pick my birthday back in 2009. I think it would be 2000 and no, I tell a lie. My birthday 2013. Of course it was 2013, idiot. Of course it was my birthday 2013. A group of friends from down here, one of the local Doctor Who groups, and myself, we arranged to go to Cardiff for the day to go to see the Doctor Who experience. We spent the day in Cardiff, and we wandered around and saw various different sites. We went and sat in Eddie's Cafe, where they filmed various episodes, including
expensive place that is.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
What's Eddie's Cafe? What was Eddie's Cafe? What's that?
It's. Do you remember in The Impossible Astronaut when they meet up in the cafe?
The
American Diner.
Yeah, it's that. It's the American Diner.
It's Diner.
Yeah, Eddie's Diner. Sorry, Eddie's Diner. Yeah, so we did that, and a friend of mine is a freelance cameraman, and he'd actually been filming at Roath Loch, where they filmed Doctor Who, and he said, "Look," he said, "if you come along, I'll meet you, and I can take you into the studio." Really? Well, yeah, sure, yeah. Come on, I'll do that. Well, okay, if it's all right. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm allowed to, bring somebody every now and again. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, great. So, so we went to the studio, and this was shortly after they'd finished filming the 50th anniversary story. So we went there. We went in, and he said, "I'm sorry," he said, "but most of the sets are locked down. You can't for example, go into where the TARDIS set was, which was this is before they started doing the tours. Subsequently, I've done a TARDIS tour. I've been on the TARDIS. Great, but back then I hadn't, and it was like, oh well, okay. We were able to go on into the studio where they filmed Wizards versus Aliens, and I saw some of the stuff in there. And then there was this one studio that was open, and we went into there, and it was this massive space with this big, like a big ball in the middle of it. And it was complete darkness, so we had to use the lights on our phones to go in. And I thought, what on earth is this? And it's a set from Doctor Who. I don't care. I'm on it. So, so we went into this ball, and there were these little firelighters, used firelighters on the floor, laying scattered around. And I thought, this is weird. Using the camera lights, and you could see it was like a sort of an orangey red color. And I thought, oh, I know the Zygons are in the 50th anniversary special. Maybe this is a Zygon spaceship. Oh, that would be quite cool. So I stood in the middle of this thing, and he took a picture of me and what have you. And we wandered off, went to the Doctor Who experience and had a look around there. And this was the day after Matt Smith had announced that he was leaving. And Sky TV were at the Doctor Who experience. And they were interviewing various people. And I just went up and I said something to one of them, asked a question or whatever, and they said, "Oh, would you like to be interviewed?" Yeah, go on, go for it. So they interviewed me, and it subsequently got shown on TV on that day, on my birthday, me talking about Doctor Who. And then there was another bit later on when they were just panning around the exhibition, and I was there sort of taking a photograph of Weeping Angel, and this is mental. And time passed, as it does. We had a great day, tremendous day. And then it comes to November, and the celebrations are ramping up, and they're showing all of these different things. And then Night of the Doctor gets shown. And it was superb. And it was like, oh, that moment when I'm a doctor, but possibly not the one you were expecting, and you see Paul McGann again for the first time, and shivers down your arm, and I watched this, and I watched this over again, and I watched it over again, and it suddenly dawned on me that set that I'd been on, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about, was the cave. It was the cave scene where McGann regenerates. So I stood on the set where Paul McGann regenerates, and it was a tiny little thing. They wouldn't have had very many people involved because the whole show had finished by that point. So there's hardly anybody had ever been on that set, but I'm one of the people who's been on the set where Paul McGann regenerated, and that, I think, is my Doctor Who memory.
And also your 35 minutes is up.
I did say it would.
Suky, your non-Doctor Who memory, please. Your favourite memory of Doctor Who.
See, I was going to go right back in time and just think of
1847.
Oh, when was that? When you was a little toddler.
When you was a mere wizard's apprentice.
Before the motor car, the thing that was not drawn by horses. It was drawn by.
It's drawn by a person called Bob Fleming.
You said I'm a short pony. I am a short pony.
Giddy up, Bob. Giddy up, Bob. Come on, Bob.
It's Maggie's chameleon fantasy again that we're harking back to.
Yes.
Says you coming out Laura Palmer's nose.
Won't be the first time.
But I'm going to go with something that's quite recent. It's my 50th birthday, basically. Right, and we're in lockdown.
Fucking 50th.
When was this? Was this back with the Spanish flu came out?
Yes, it was.
Miles, behave yourself. Behave yourself.
Yeah, you pair are just so hilarious.
We're not.
I'm just going to go into a 35-minute monologue myself now. And just talk about, I don't know, but the soul of my feet right now. It's hurting. But no, what it was, I just got my favourite memory is something quite recent. It's because my family got together. They knew it was my 50th birthday. I didn't have anybody around, and we couldn't really get people to come around. When we just had the postponement of my daughter's wedding, and everything had just gone pear-shaped, and so the whole family was feeling down. It's just the fact that they got together and they did me a kid's birthday party, Doctor Who kids themed birthday party just for me. And then they got all their phones and their gadgets around the place where they just Zoomed, called, or FaceTimed all family and friends from around the England and from Germany, right? And they just got them to all watch me while I was cutting the cake, singing happy birthday with me. And that's just going to live with me for a good long while. I mean, I could say something about my background right now. I'm not going to. It's going to be a family moment.
It was lovely that, because Suky didn't tell us it was his birthday until he put it on Instagram or something, didn't you? Yeah. Like pictures of all that they'd done.
Well, the kids were going to put it. Kids were all going to put it up, as I thought.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. But he didn't fucking tell us he was 50, because we all thought he was at least 74. Thanks, darling. Miles, what's your favourite memory non-Who related, please? And don't go for 35 minutes.
No, this won't. This won't. 35 minutes. This is. I have to pick my wedding day. It was the perfect day. Everything went to plan. Everybody enjoyed themselves. Traditionally, you get weddings and there's some kind of problem, there's some issue, there's some argument with somebody. We didn't get any of that. Everybody had a great day. The speeches all went down a treat. My wife's son and his band played. They were the music, they were the entertainment. We got involved as well. We sang a song and we did various things. Her nephew got up and played guitar for the first time. That she didn't even know he could do that. And that was great. It was just an astonishing day from start to finish, and I was the proudest man I could ever be to have such a wonderful person as my wife, and still feel that way to this day and always will. And so that will always be my memory, my first and foremost memory. You know, the Doctor Who stuff is all brilliant and means the world to me, but I can't exchange that for that one day.
Brilliant. That's lovely. Thank you, Miles. I used to be able to play guitar. I don't know if you still can. I've not tried it for about 3 or 4 months. Because of lockdown. If you don't pay me money, I don't play a fucking guitar. It's quite simple. But, I'm not joking. I love it, really. Right, cool. Well, we've come to the end of the questions. Miles, would you like to play a song? We've had Dr. Oho play a song of some quality. Would you like to play? Would you like to play a song for us, please?
I would, and because of our current episode that's out with the NHS charities together.co.uk/donate, slipping that one in there just in case you missed it the first time.
Absolutely.
45 minutes ago, whenever that was.
347 years ago.
When Suky were a lad.
When Suky had a bald face.
When we all had bald faces, let's be honest.
Need to catch up, Miles. He's the thing in the beard.
I'll never catch up with Suky. It doesn't matter how hard I try.
Unreal.
You've just taken the top and taped it to the bottom. That's what you've done.
Never had such beard envy.
Everybody that comes on and sees me, it's beard envy, beard envy.
I feel like such a pathetic man.
Just wait till he gets Gandalf. Thank you. So I thought the appropriate song to pick would be the one that Sophie sang. So as added bonus for Progtor Who listeners and viewers, have Sophie Aldred singing a song that I can't believe I'm saying. A song that I wrote, and do some harmony in the background. I could have chosen that as my memory as well. To be honest with you, the whole Doctor Who's line stuff and the stuff we've done with Sophie, particularly recently, just amazing. But yeah, so this song, that's what I've chosen. It's called "Please Donate Today." It's yesterday. So it's something that had to rhyme with, and that's one of the lines. Instead of yesterday, one line she says, "Please donate today." So that's what we called it. So yeah.
Well, here it is. Well, it's not exclusive.
It's not exclusive. It's been out for 5 days now, but
it's
exclusive to Progtor Who. So
Thank you very much indeed, Miles.
No,
There it is.
you're
Sophie Aldred. Oh, my word.
And she can sing as well.
Amazing. No, she's great. Cool. That's that done. So that was Sophie Aldred with, what was it called again, Miles?
Please donate today. And if you want to know who to donate to, www.nhscharitiestogether.co.uk/donate, please.
Get on it. Get on it. Right, we're coming to the end now, chaps. I just want you to share your wares, if you like. So where can we find you, Suky?
You can find me
potentially in prison. What?
And in the past.
or in Bob's bed.
No, your bed, because you got the silkies.
No. What I'm going to do now is
I want ginger.
I'm just going to buy you especially. I'm going to get a bed just for you, so we can share that together. Right. So, all right. Just to make it extra special.
Splash proof.
Well,
I get the feeling I'm interrupting something, listeners.
It's just a love fest for Miles. Just a love.
I'll just sleek out.
Right, you can find me on Progtor Who, where we discuss Doctor Who stories. You can find me on Trek This Out, where we can discuss Star Trek episodes. You can find me on Take Your Seats podcast, where you can we discuss sci-fi movies, or in some cases not so sci-fi movies, the Man with Two Brains. And you can occasionally find me on Doctor Who's Line Is It Anyway, where I help out Miles when he does improv.
Miles, where can we find your wares? Sell us them.
Well, astonishingly enough, it's the one Suki's just mentioned. Doctor Who's Line Is It Anyway? We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. We're on Anchor FM. Just Google Doctor Who's Line Is It Anyway, and it will come up. There is a previous thing that somebody has done as well, a video thing of some sort, but I think ours is probably the one that comes firstly to search when you do that, because we are audio only.
And also, don't forget, obviously, Miles has obviously indicated where you can go to donate to the most recent charity episode as well. Fantastic cause, NHS, and a fantastic episode as well. So please check it out and go there.
And lads, if anybody out there likes what we do and fancies joining in, we are always looking for new cast. And you never know, you might end up doing something with Sophie Aldred. Or, and here's an exclusive for you, at some point in the future, we will be doing something with Katie Manning, who was supposed to be involved in the episode but wasn't able to, and has insisted that we do something with her sometime in the future. So, so we've got that to look forward to. That will probably be another charity special that we'll do, but we'll get her to choose the charity on that one. And hopefully that will do well as well. But so
fantastic.
Get involved, play with us, and you never know who you might end up acting.
There you go. Well done, Miles. Well done, dude. Okay, very quickly, we're going to finish this off with a recommendation. Miles, can you please, because we're not in lockdown, but we're kind of in lockdown. Can you recommend book, TV, or something just for our listeners to indulge in during this time?
This is the one that I'd forgotten about, so hadn't actually found anything for.
It's just like you, Suki, when you picking a song. That was great.
Yeah. Obviously, if you've got your Doctor Who episodes, DVDs, whatever, and you want to listen to some daftness alongside it, you can put one of our episodes alongside it and listen to that.
You've done that bit, Miles.
But if you're going to, different. I know, but I don't necessarily explain what we do. But if you wanted something non-Doctor Who-y, I think we all need a laugh. So I would recommend a damn good comedy show. Two of my favourites from the recent past, I think, are Taskmaster. If you've ever seen Taskmaster, it's on Dave. It's hosted by Greg Davis with Alex Horne. It's actually Alex Horne's idea. Alex Horne is a lovely bloke.
Yeah.
I've spoken to him a bit, and he's really very pleasant and very clever man. Basically, they get it's like a panel show, but they get various celebrity guests in who stay with them for the entire series, and they're given a series of tasks, which are these weird and wonderful things, which some of which are quite cerebral, some of which are just nonsense, like you've got to roll something down a hill and knock something over, kind of thing. And it's not as straightforward as it sounds. There's a twist in them somewhere that they do. It's very, very funny. And they've had a lot of great guests on, and that's worth watching. Or if you fancy something that's more scripted and more structured, Friday Night Dinner is very, 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 very funny. Right. Very funny sitcom that's going for a few series now. I'd recommend that. So yeah, just find something and have a good laugh, because God knows there's enough seriousness in the world at the moment, and we all need to loosen up a bit at times and get the old chuckle muscles going, and it helps you live long as well.
Yeah, it definitely does. Thank you, Miles. Suky, recommend us something.
Right, I'm going to recommend two things. I watch a lot of TV stuff. Watch it too much. I mean, I'm currently watching Warrior Nun. I've just finished off Man in the High Castle, Sabrina. But there's this show that's been on now for about 2 years, and it's just coming to the end of its second season. I doubt it'll be mainly for American viewers, really. It's called In the Dark. Right, it's about a blind girl that discovers a murder, and she has to prove who murdered a friend. But it's got so many twists and turns. It's quite dark. It's got some little comedy moments in, but it's one of the best programs I've seen for the last couple of years. And the lead in the actress in it is just fantastic. The other thing I'm going to recommend is another podcast, but it's one that's quite big. It's suddenly gone big, right? And it's the Scrubs podcast, and it's hosted by the two stars of it, Donald Faison and Zach Braff. They haven't watched their show for the last 20 years. So what they're doing is watching an episode.
Zach Braff, who's the other one, the angry doctor fella? Who's the other one?
You've got Zach Braff and Donald Faison.
Is he the savage one?
The savage one? No, that's
the savage.
The John C. McGinley was the
I love him. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Well,
like Malcolm Tucker on Scrubs.
Yeah, he appears occasionally on the podcast as well, right? Because they'll get the guest cast from there, and they'll just come on, and they're so funny. Cool. I started listening from the beginning, and they've been releasing like 1 or 2 episodes a week, and it's one of the best podcasts, funniest podcasts out there, because they're best friends in real life. The two leads became best friends, and they've lived together, they've worked together, they're now living separately, married and stuff like that. But it's one of the funniest podcasts I've seen out there.
So great chemistry, basically.
Yeah, Scrubs rewatch.
I never was a massive. Well, I love Scrubs. If it's on, I'll watch it, and I think it's brilliant. But I never would sort of obsessively watch it. But if I ever saw it on E4 or whatever, I love Scrubs. It was cool. Thanks, gentlemen. Brilliant. That's a couple of great recommends. Thank you so much for your time. It's been genuinely a fucking pleasure hanging out with you lot. Oh my God, get off Jurgen Klopp's cap, Suky. So we're being joined, obviously, by Suky from the Progtor Who podcast and many other podcasts who's touching the cap of a German man. And Miles Northcott / before he died, it was Dr. Oho. Is that right, Dr. Oho? Have I said it right?
Dr. Oho, yeah.
Excellent.
My sins.
Well, thank you very much, gents. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for listening.
Basically, when I'm Dr. Oho, I'm playing you, Bob.
You base Dr. Oho, me, a massive sexist wanker. Brilliant. On that note,
on that
goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Swat.